Hey everyone, Mr. DVB here. So today I'm going to bring you all my review for Ford vs Ferrari, which is the newest film from director James Mangold, who's made some films in the past such as Walk the Line and of course Logan. So going into this movie, I was really excited for it. The trailers grabbed me right from the get-go. I thought this looked like a really fun and entertaining movie. You had a really good director behind it, and you also had two fantastic big stars, Matt Damon and especially Christian Bale. So there was a lot of stuff going into this movie that I was excited for. The film was getting great reviews, and I was really excited for it. And I'm happy to say that coming out of this movie, I think it is fantastic. It is one of my favorite movies of this year. A really, really fun film that also does a really good job at making you care for the characters. And for a racing film, which is not typically a genre I watch much or really care for when it comes to films, I thought this movie did a really good job at not just giving us great racing sequences, but also giving us just a good story of these two guys working together, trying to create this vehicle. So the film follows two men by the names of Carroll Shelby and Jim Miles, who work together to create the fastest Ford racing car possible so they can beat Ferrari at the 24-hour Le Mans race. Yeah, like I said, I think this was a really good movie. I'll start off with the biggest pro I can give, which is the cast. Everybody in this movie does a great job, but the standout here is going to be Christian Bale for probably everyone. He's great in so many movies, and this is no different. He definitely had the best character in this movie. I liked how this film handled its comedy. Like, the film had very serious, intense moments, but then it sometimes used comedy, and it worked well. It didn't feel like out of place. It was always well handled, and it was a funny film. And a lot of that comes from Christian Bale's performance. He was just a really great character in this movie, and it was a good story as well. It didn't feel like it was pointless. It wasn't just another racing movie, because I don't know. I'd say of all the racing movies I've seen, this has like the most pivotal story to it. The idea that Ford wants to create a fast vehicle to beat Ferrari in this race, which they were not known for. They were not known for having these fast vehicles that would win races and stuff like that. It was always Ferrari. So I don't know. It was just a really cool storyline, and it was a good movie to watch. The racing sequences are fantastic. They were some of the best I've seen in the movie personally. They were shot extremely well. They were very tense. The sound design was great. This is definitely a movie that, if it is done in Atmos when it's released, it'll probably sound great because there's just a lot of really awesome moments with the sounds and everything. And yeah, I mean, while this is definitely a racing movie, and there's probably at least like 40 or even more minutes of racing sequences in this film, at the heart, it is at the core of it, it's about the story of these two guys, these two friends, working together to, like I said, create this vehicle. It's not much about the companies facing each other. I mean, that's kind of like what's starting everything, but it's really about these two guys just working together. And I liked that a lot. It was cool seeing that. Like I said, it holds up so well because of its performances. If you didn't have these two actors doing such a good job, or if you didn't have those actors in general, it wouldn't have worked as well because you're spending so much time with these two people and them working on this vehicle. So their performances stood out a ton. I thought Christian Bale was fantastic. Matt Damon was really great in the movie. The actor that plays Henry Ford II, I thought he was pretty good in the movie as well. I liked him a lot. So yeah, everybody in the film, like I said, across the board did a really good job. This is a very long film. It is 2 hours and like 30 minutes or so. So yeah, it's very, very long. Sometimes it does kind of feel like it's dragging on a bit. Not that much. There's just a few moments where I thought it was a little bit slower, mainly in like the first act. I say the first like 40 or so minutes, there were some slow parts, and a little bit in the middle. But they're not that big of speed bumps in the overall course of the film. I mean, once it's in full gear, oh god, all the car metaphors I'm going to be using. But no, once it's fully into it, it's a great movie. I think it's pretty much about the point where they actually start working on making this car that everything from there on out I just thought was great. It didn't really feel like it was slowing down at all, though, because they were working, purely on this, and it just made it really tense and fun to watch. So yeah, great performances, really good story, great soundtrack as well. That's one other thing I forgot to mention. Is we had a really good soundtrack, great sound design. Overall, really good film. I don't really have any other problems besides like that little bit of pacing at points. There are some times where characters like the owner of Ferrari will be speaking his language, and they didn't have subtitles, and there's sometimes where there'll be a character translating it for another character, but there's other times where these characters will be having a discussion for like 15 seconds. They don't have any subtitles, and maybe it was like they didn't need subtitles because we didn't have to know what they were saying, but I just would have liked to have known that. That's not a big issue, but it's just something that was a little bit of a nitpick. But yeah, anyways, great movie. Definitely go see it if you like racing films, and even if you don't really care for racing films like myself, it's still good to see because two great performances, really good story, and just an interesting tale to listen to. And like I said, out of all the sports movies, not sports, but racing movies I've seen, it's a pretty pivotal story as well. It's not just, oh, this person did a race and this was the outcome. It was a good story. So yeah, there you go. Those are my thoughts on Ford vs Ferrari. I'm gonna give the movie a 9 out of 10. I'll see you guys next time, where I'll be reviewing Frozen 2 probably, unless I see Terminator by then. I still haven't seen that movie yet, but yeah, there you go. Those are my thoughts on the film, and I will see you all next time. Bye.